All right, everyone, our second passage here is known as the Mystery of Mountain Lake. Now, some of you probably agree with me that this was one of the harder passages, not to mention one of the most boring passages, but they're going to give us something like this, and we've just got to be prepared for it. So when we look at this one, which information would best be included in the Mystery of Mountain Lake section? So that's this section right here, these first three paragraphs. And so what would be the best thing that we could add to this section? Now, if you look at this section, the first section just kind of explains to you what the Appalachian Mountain, what Smith Mountain Lake is. The second one kind of goes into maybe the causes of the water levels changing and such in Smith Mountain Lake. And then the third one kind of goes into further explaining the causes. And really, all it really talks about, the only thing in these four answers that I even see it remotely talk about is right here, where it talks about drought and draining and rainfall. Nowhere else in the passage does it really talk about anything else that could kind of go into this. But I just look at it as like, if we were to continue this on, we would probably go into changes in weather patterns. We wouldn't really go on to types of fish found in the lake, because that doesn't really go into the mystery of the mountain lake. Like, nowhere have we really talked about there being a mysterious fish there. Increase in wildlife population, we're not talking about that. We're talking about it's kind of like a weather phenomena, right? Like this thing that happens. So we would just kind of keep going into more detail about that. I think that even this could be a good title for this section, changes in weather patterns. The other two, like besides types of fish found, I don't even see the other two would be being possible answers here. Okay. Now, second one here, according to the information in paragraph 4, the main goal of Mountain Lake Conservancy is to. Now, if we go back and look at paragraph 4, Mountain Lake offers more interesting changes in water surface level, is an excellent place for learning. Mountain Lake Conservancy functions mostly to manage the land, water, and natural resources in the area. I mean, if that's not a word for word exactly giving you the answer for this, I don't know what is. Okay. It also offers children educational programs which teach about the aquatic and woodland habitats and the creatures that live in these areas. And so what's wild to me is a lot of us are picking C on this one. It says it offers children educational programs. But here's the thing. It says it also offers it right here. It says it functions. So that's function is what its main thing is. What is it mainly doing? It is mainly preserving the lake's natural resources. It functions to manage and protect the land, water, and natural resources in the area. I'm sorry, y'all. This one should have been a no-brainer, knock out of the park. It says it word for word, especially for summarizing the paragraphs. This would be my summary for the paragraph. The Mountain Lake Conservancy protects the area. That's all I would have said. And I would have gone to question 11. I would have been like, wow. This is the answer. It's B. Now, I also helped a couple of you out, and I talked to you about conservancy. You could turn the word conservancy into the word conserve, hopefully. You look at the root if you're really still struggling, and the word conserve means to protect, right? And then another synonym of conserve could be preserve. So you could have gone that route as well, but I really just like the fact that it word for word tells you in the passage, right? Okay. Paragraph 12, which heading would be the best for number 12, best heading for paragraph 5. So here's paragraph 5. This was a tough question. And it's a tough question because you had two really good answers. You could have either gone B or D here. No one chose protecting the water. No one chose visiting creatures in nature, but a lot of us chose the best way to study the land. And let's just read it though. So additionally, the Mountain Lake Biological Station is a field research and teaching location. It has been operated by the Biology Department of the University of Virginia since 1929. So ask yourself, who is operating this Mountain Lake Station? Who's operating it? Oh, I see. It's the Biology Department of UVA, a university. The station is a perfect spot for aquatic biology study because it is located near mountain lake streams, waterfalls, and ponds. Researchers from around the world and university students use this specialized facility. Deer, bears, bobcats, raccoons, and squirrels may be seen here. I don't like that this is an answer choice. This was a bad answer choice, but this is still the best answer choice because it's a teaching location where the Biology Department of Virginia has been using it since 1929, and other university students also use it. So all these students from around the world come here to study, which is why it's a bad one to say the best way to study the land. But it's not really saying it's the best way to study the land. It's saying that they use it to study the land, and in studying it and using it to study the land, it's a classroom. Okay. So in continuing here, the author organizes information in paragraph 6 by, so we want to look at paragraph 6. A peaceful retreat for relaxing Mountain Lake attracts visitors who have long appreciated the natural beauty of the area. In the late 1850s, the Mountain Lake Company built the first wooden hotel here to lodge stagecoach travelers. Hotel ownership changed throughout the years. In the 1930s, a new owner replaced the wooden hotel with the present structure of native sandstone. The historical Mountain Lake Hotel has provided comfortable beds and fine food to its guests ever since. Today, the site includes the main hotel and smaller cabins. Guests enjoy many outdoor activities. Some of these include hiking, fishing, swimming, mountain biking, and boat riding. So when I look at this, for most of the paragraph, right, the first one, a peaceful retreat for relaxing Mountain Lake attracts visitors who have long appreciated the natural beauty of the area. In the late 1850s, the Mountain Lake Company built the first wooden hotel. Hotel ownership changed throughout the years. In the 1930s, a new owner replaced the wooden hotel into sandstone. Then the Mountain Lake has provided comfortable beds and fine food to its guests ever since. And then now it has a main hotel and smaller cabins. So it's literally gone. And even the outdoor activities are part of how it's developed. So like over the years, it has developed, right? It's not telling anybody this thing needs to change. Okay, it's not listing reasons people visit the hotel, and it's not comparing the hotel's appearance to nearby hotels. So this goes back to kind of our whole text structure thing, right? And hopefully we just think through text structures like, how is this organized? It's not giving us reasons, listing reasons to change, and it's not explaining why the hotel needed to be. It's not trying to persuade us for anything. It is just describing or like the chronological development of the hotel. Like how has it changed over the years? Hopefully that one makes sense to everybody. 14, based on the article, the mystery at Mountain Lake was difficult to solve since the cause of the changing water levels. So you would come back up to paragraphs 1 through 3, look at your summaries, go back over them, and hopefully you would pick unusual. Disturbing is a word to me that means it upsets you in a way, and I don't think anything here would upset you. Protected, I think we would have just gotten rid of from the beginning, and then it leaves us with distant or unusual. And I don't really think that it's distant, right? I think here it says that this question, researchers and neighbors around the lake have asked for years. When a large natural hole, blah, 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 blah. It's just very weird that this random hole in the middle of the river, in the middle of the lake, just kind of like, yes, like, also it says for years, no one understood exactly why this happens. It's just this hole in the middle of the lake, and it just opens and closes based on sediment that closes it. That's a really strange, different thing that doesn't happen very often, and that's why it took them so long to figure it out, because they're like, why does this keep happening? This is not normal. So it's unusual. The opposite of normal is unusual. Okay, the author refers to the hotel as the historical Mountain Lake Hotel, most likely because of it. So you want to go to the section where it talks about the historical Mountain Lake Hotel, which I think, again, we need to go back to our summaries so that it doesn't take us forever to find these things. But here we go, the historical Mountain Lake Hotel. And regardless, though, I mean, when you look at this, many hosted events, that doesn't mean history. Long list of improvements, that doesn't mean history. So now we're just down to the dates. And I mean, real talk, right? What's the older date? Existence on the site since the 1850s. Plus, let's look at the words here. Existence since the 1850s. That means it's been there since the 1850s. That kind of goes with historical, right? Remodeling. I don't know if you ever remodeled anything, but this is when your parents decide that they want to redo the kitchen or add new floors to the house or repaint something. That's remodeling. Does that mean historical? No, that means since the 1930s, they keep adding different things to it to keep it updated. So you'd probably get rid of that one as well. And hopefully that just leaves you with the 1850s. And it's in this paragraph specifically. Okay, next question. According to the article, the most likely reason visitors return to Mountain Lake is to, same paragraph, okay, right here, all right. Guests enjoy many outdoor activities. Guests enjoy many outdoor activities. Guests enjoy many outdoor activities. It says it word for word right here in the same paragraph. So this would be a good idea, recreation, because the first two aren't really going into anything about guests. So you'd want to come to this last paragraph where it's talking about people actually being in the lake. And that's just these last two paragraphs. Again, looking at your summaries hopefully could also identify that, but just in case it doesn't, that's why you would want to come back to this paragraph. And then you would just see exactly right there, guests enjoying many outdoor activities. Paragraph 17, which sentence from the article states an opinion? I had a lot of conversations with a lot of you about these types of questions, and that's part of the reason why I'm going over each one individually. So opinion is something that cannot be measured. You cannot check it. I love when people are always like, that's garbage, that's trash, that's terrible, that's the worst, that's awful. All of those things are opinions. You cannot measure those things, okay? You cannot measure them, okay? So looking at these, which is the one that does, because it says states an opinion, so we're looking for an opinion, state an opinion. You don't even need to go back to the passage. Deers, bears, bobcats, raccoons, and squirrels may be seen here. That's true, right? You can see them there. Hotel ownership changed throughout the years. You can check that. You can say who's been the hotel owner throughout the years. Like just like principals at Hickory Middle School have changed throughout the years. You can check to see what different principals have been there. Today, the site includes the main hotel and smaller cabins. Sure can check that. You can go to the hotel. You can go to Smith Mountain Lake right now and check the hotel. Whether for study or rest, countless people frequent this fascinating place. And this is a no-brainer, right? We got the word fascinating here. I mean, some of us are going to find Smith Mountain Lake fascinating. Some of us are going to find Smith Mountain Lake one of the most boring places in the world to visit and would never want to go there. It depends on who you are. That's why fascinating is an opinion word. There's going to be a question later on in the test that's about just facts, all right? Which word means to be continually engaged in close, careful study? So I saw some of us struggle with this one. For the most part, we got it, but just in case we didn't get it, let's change the word to like run. I went on a run. Well, that's not continually. I am a runner. Well, that's not continually. I am running. Okay, that is continually. I ran. Okay, that's in the past. So hopefully this one wasn't too difficult for you all. If you could just break it down that way, use words that you might understand, right? But I did my research. I am a researcher. I have researched, or I am researching. Only one of these is continual. Okay, so that's going to do it here for our second passage. We're on to the poem next. Thank you for watching, everyone.